I've clicked the button now.
Click the button.
Too late to do your hair.
Hello.
Good evening and welcome to our Sunday thing.
Hello, good evening, welcome. And here is the news.
What, this?
Yes, we forgot to say thank you last week. I don't know if Civic Eagle, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if Civic Eagle was in tonight.
We had it sat on the side and then we
you.
tidied up and moved it. So we forgot to say thank you. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about, because I've got a set of Mr. Members minus Mr. Nosy. Oh, it was in a vlog as well, wasn't it? Because we found one when we were out and about, but it was in a bit of a state, so we didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, Civic Eagle, if you're in, say hello. Thank you so much for sending that over. I can now get that set listed complete.
Yes.
And I've got a little miss set complete as well.
Mm.
Yes. So yeah, welcome. We do this every Sunday to come on and catch up with you lot. Most of the time we do a haul. We have bought some stuff, but we thought we'd mix it up. You said, well, let's go back to every now and again, we'll just talk about a topic.
Yeah, I miss doing our topics, I think.
A lot of people have been talking about this, so we're going to widen the scope of the chat a bit, but we'll get onto that in a minute. We will say a few hellos whilst people are dropping in. We're up to 164. Hello. Pete was first in, and there's Chris. Welcome. Steve, Antiques, Reseller Dens. Hello, lovely peeps, he says. Is that us? No, I think it's the chat. I think it's the chat. Yeah. And Marie, your turn.
I know, I'm not the one that sings it.
Maria's with us. Hello, Steve. Lots and lots of Steves. Look, Stephen, and Steve. Sean, Tina, hello. Ernesto. Laurie says, hi, Nick and Andrea and Jeff. My dog Clyde gives Jeff a big dig woof.
Jeff is curled up on a cushion on the sofa.
Oh, is he?
He's looking very cute.
Okay. Lots and lots of hellos. So welcome everybody. Stuart, and there's Anne. What's Marcus saying there? Hi, Marcus. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well and safe from the flooding and the awful weather. I must say, Norfolk has the best community spirit I've seen in a long time. Well, we could touch on that briefly, actually. There was very almost flooding in our village, and the council turned up with sandbags, and we were out there. I was wheelbarrowing sandbags up the road to other houses that were under threat, and luckily, touch wood, it didn't flood here. But I can attest to the community spirit in Norfolk. It was
amazing.
It was quite something. But we're fine, and the village here didn't flood. Some surrounding ones did.
Yeah, village next to us flooded. Some houses were flooded.
Yeah, we saw some abandoned cars.
I did see some. I think what Marcus was saying. I saw some posts about Attleborough. I think certain areas in Attleborough did flood.
So we got off lightly, but it was a bit hairy. There's a river that goes underneath the marketplace.
Yeah, but it's not a normal river, though, is it? It's a runoff. It doesn't usually have water in it. If that makes sense.
But the channel that goes under the road was that close to overflowing. So yes, it was a bit hairy for a while.
Yes.
So we are going to. We're not going to do a haul. We did go to a jumble sale. There wasn't a great deal there for us, but we still found a few really nice things.
Civic Eagle is in.
Thank you, Stuart. There we go. Thank you. It did get here safely, and we completely forgot to mention it last week, but we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Excellent. So we're not going to do a haul. We didn't buy a great deal, but there was a few cool bits. One thing that I did want to share, we bought and we're going to keep because we both love it.
Well, we spied it. It was just sitting on the inside of the door while we were queuing.
It's a poster from when David Hockney exhibited at the Royal Academy, and I've been a fan of his work since I saw an exhibition of his in the 90s, and I wrote an essay on him when I was at art college. And so it's a poster for an exhibition, but just the posters are actually selling on eBay for about £30 just for the posters that you could buy at the event. This one's really nicely framed as well, so it's a nice item. How much did you pay for it?
£3.
£3. Yeah. But this is going to grace our wall So yeah,
we
very
haven't
nice.
decided where it's going yet, but yeah,
But we did buy
we'll
other
find a
stuff.
place.
We bought some other stuff. We met one particular lovely lady whose name was it Sue? Was her name Sue?
Sue springs to mind.
Sue, it might be. If you were in, say hello. Yeah, had a chat with Sue. We bumped into at the jumble sale.
Oh, hello, Cheryl. Says I'm obsessed with your house.
You're obsessed with our house? Have you been out the front peering in the window? Was it you? So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about Poshmark, but we're going to widen it out. We weren't even selling on Poshmark, so we've not been affected.
No.
But we're going to talk a bit about the wider question of, what is the future of reselling? Yeah, I thought it might be interesting what our views are, and let us know what your views are. And if you were affected by Poshmark closing, if you don't know what that's all about, they're closing their UK operation or the UK app. They're going to concentrate on US and Canada.
Yeah.
Which they, in their statement, they said that's their core market. They didn't allude to why it didn't work here or what I assume they didn't get enough signups or there wasn't enough revenue or whatever. But they've closed it.
Sorry, is that a broad bean on the wall behind Andrea? No, that is Nick insisting that a pen should live there. I really don't like the fact that a pen lives there because it ruins the aesthetic.
But you need a pen with your calendar.
There's a pen pot in the cupboard. But it's 2 paces to the cupboard to open it to get a pen out.
No, don't want to have to go rummaging in a cupboard for a pen when all you want to do is write on the calendar. We're not going to have a domestic about it. If the pen isn't there next week, you know why. Steve, right, okay. Never used Poshmark, never heard of it. So I don't think their promotion was necessarily working.
Go back to people talking about David Hockney. And Belinda said, I wrote about him too in my A-level art history course in college. Yeah, I was doing my foundation course when Cheryl said he lived near me and now lives in Bridlington near my auntie. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah. He's still working. He's still working today and producing incredible stuff. I remember watching a small short documentary on him when he was doing all those works of trees. Great stuff, really is.
And he says, I've got David Hockney Yorkshire Wolds sketchbook. I've driven through the Wolds many times. It's a lovely landscape and a bit underrated.
Yeah. So anyway, going back to Poshmark. So it's just the UK one that's closing.
Deborah's on my side. Read the pen. Thank you, Deborah.
Convenience over prettiness is my world, I think, and you're the other way around. We're not to ask Cheryl. Don't ask me my views on Poshmark.
Yes, I have seen your views on Poshmark, to be honest, Cheryl.
Well, I find it interesting because it's becoming the reselling apps place is becoming very crowded. And it's interesting to see that they pulled the plug so quickly because they've not been promoting it for long. They've not been in the UK for long, so they weren't prepared to.
My particular take on it is they just haven't advertised it. It's like resellers know about it because it's been promoted within the reselling world. But if you talk about it to a person on the street, they'd be like, "What's that? I don't know. I don't understand what it is." So how do they expect anybody to use something that they haven't seen or don't know what it is? The reason why Vinted is so successful is because they advertise so much.
We'll never know what goes on within that company, but it may just be they had X amount of budgeting spend, they spent it, and they didn't get the results. So that's it. They're done with this market. It doesn't mean they won't come back. I was saying this to you the other night. Just because they're pulling the plug for now, they might come back when they've got better plans or more marketing budget. Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
It's just a shame that they've got so many people involved and, they've put a lot of time and effort into it. And, now it's just nothing.
Yeah.
Rug pulled out from under them kind of thing.
Once Love Treasures. I've never used Poshmark, but it seems like they lost the battle to Whatnot. Well, that's interesting because they're kind of half launching, aren't they? They're doing it incrementally. it seems.
Yeah, but most people won't be able to tell you what Whatnot is either.
Maybe Whatnot have got a bigger marketing budget, or their marketing.
I've not seen that Whatnot.
Maybe their plan is to market for 2 years and see where they get to, rather than Poshmark being however long it was, a year or something. I really don't know. It's interesting though. Sorry, it seems they lost about to Whatnot, although the product ranges are different. The format seems the same, and Whatnot seems to have grabbed the attention more. Also, for people that watching who haven't sold on there or haven't seen it, it's live selling.
Yeah.
It's like this.
Yeah.
Well,
for the most part, you can list things for sale as well, which you can't with Whatnot.
Well,
you have a wardrobe on Poshmark.
Oh, okay. I never even looked at it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, certainly Whatnot is a case of you hold your item up, people bid, and then it's gone. Then you move on to the next one.
Yeah. Well, Whatnot have only got basically one category, haven't they, so far? I mean, they're not.
I'm not sure. I know Chris is selling on there. He's kind of like an ambassador, I think. He was chosen to promote it, and Chris does weekly auctions, maybe on Whatnot, and he's all in collectibles and toys. So I don't know if they're restricting Whatnot just to that, because we did apply to get on that platform, and we've never heard back.
Well, I've heard of more people using Poshmark than Whatnot, so I don't know. Look, there's James.
There's James. Well, oh yeah. Hi, James. Ian there. What's that? Poshmark, I think that should say, should have marketed themselves as Temu. They would have been annoying and as successful in minutes. Oh, don't get on to me about Temu. Good Lord. You can't look anywhere on the internet without some piece of tat being flogged at you for next to nothing. It's madness. Yeah, Daniel, agreeing with you that Vinted are everywhere. Well, they're sponsoring Big Brother this year. I mean, that's some heck of a budget they're throwing at that. I mean, it could simply be investment and how much investment they've got to spend on advertising. I mean, we're going to be in this boat on a micro scale when we do the public launch for our app. We had a meeting with everybody involved with developing the app, and we planned our launch strategy. And I could only wish for the budget that some of these companies have. And we were taking advice from a friend who gave his time for free to suggest what we can do and how we can do it. And he's a marketer. He works in marketing for a huge company, and he has hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of budget to spend. And I was sitting there thinking, if only. Ours is a very different marketing strategy on a shoestring.
Neil says, I'm a little bit bemused by Poshmark. I don't know if anyone outside of reselling circles was aware of it. I don't think there were. I'd only heard of it from a few reseller vids and Insta. It came and went before we blinked. I liked Porky's comment here. It was like they were just over here for a vacation.
Well,
they never advertised. It was resellers selling to resellers to sell to resellers. No investment, just hoping everybody would do the advertising for them.
Maybe it was just a misguided strategy. I don't know. But in saying that, they are successful in America.
Yeah, very successful.
So their strategy worked over there. I don't know. It's an interesting one. All right, should we try and catch up in the chat before we move on? Hello, Pete. Thank you for the positive message. Enjoying the live streams. Okay. We're just trying to catch up in the chat.
Yeah. So Cheryl says, I think Whatnot is more up my street. I think it's more up ours as well, as long as we can,
We'll certainly have a play on Whatnot once we're accepted onto the platform.
Yeah. Poshmark needed fashion influencers, yes, to get the general public to buy. Yeah, agreed.
Was it just clothing?
And jewelry, and I don't know actually. I don't know if you could do anything more than that.
Yeah, it would be fascinating.
Hello, Lainey.
Hi, Lainey. I don't think Poshmark's ever going to announce the reasons, but it would be fascinating to know what they were trying to achieve, or what it was they didn't achieve that they needed to, or whether they were looking at the competition and thinking, we're never going to win this race, let's just pull out now and save money. Who knows?
Yeah. So if you already know, I think BCP posted a link for Lainey's channel and maybe the video. Lainey's back! Yay!
Lainey's back. I've not seen that video. You've watched that one.
Back in town.
Yes, it's good to see.
It's very good to see. Yeah. Okay. So
are we at the bottom of the chat?
I think we are. You had to be signed up to Poshmark to use it. Yeah, you had to be approved as a seller on there, definitely.
One thing that's come up, we've been discussing Poshmark disappearing from the UK market with a few people, and what's come up a lot is that eBay takes a lot of flack, and you hear a lot of people slagging off eBay, and this just goes to show it's not easy. Reselling, building up a reselling platform isn't easy, and I don't think eBay is going anywhere, and I've always said that. It will adapt and it will change, and there will be apps that will take a slice of the market share, but eBay is still the biggest and best, in my opinion, and I think it's hard to argue against that.
I think so. There are a lot of people, and I've seen an anti-eBay comment already tonight.
Oh, there are
a lot of people who, are really quite anti-eBay, but at the end of the day, I think, was it on James's stream when they were talking about how it was so much more organized, because they've been around so much longer than everything else. They've learned and grown and evolved with the times.
It's as safe a marketplace as you can get, and I stand by the fact that you can't make it safe. Person-to-person distance selling, when you're the middleman, as eBay is and all of these platforms are, you cannot make it safe from scammers on either end as a buyer and a seller. It's all to do with trust. And they do as good as a job as you're ever going to get with a moderated distance selling platform. eBay I firmly believe that. They've had, how long? 25 years of trying to figure it out. This is as good as it's getting on any platform. I fail to see how any platform could make it any safer or back buyers and sellers. Yes, there's that ongoing discussion. Should they back the seller more than the buyer? It's fraught with issues, the whole damn thing. It's an interesting one. As for our point of view on this, we really want to push person-to-person, face-to-face selling, which is what our app is basically trying to do, right? Make it easier to find places where you can do face-to-face selling. Yard sales, boot sales, all of that. That's our kind of push with it. We're not going to get involved in a distance selling, moderating sales and all of that.
I agree with what Raymond says there. I do agree with that. And I think that we've talked about this in the past, haven't we? That they're still using their same, they've tried to just adapt their original system as such over the years, and that's why it gets a bit clunky sometimes. It's like it's the same basic framework, and they've patched it 1,000 times. And it can be clunky, and there are things you think, why is that there? And I don't get that. And like some of the categories are weird. And why do we have to say whether it's adult, teen, or know, this spoon that I'm listing, is it adult or teen?
This glass, which room of the house should it be used in? It's like, what? eBay? Here's the thing. I would also never say that eBay is perfect. There's so many issues, and I moan about eBay myself. But the point is, I don't think there's anything that is coming close to rivaling it yet. Nothing ever lasts forever. So, of course, it could go, but it's a long way from that, I think. So this is an interesting comment from Deborah. It says, I'm scared of listing on eBay. I'm scared that a sold item will automatically be refunded for no good reason. But I would say that is super unlikely to happen. We sell thousands upon thousands of items through eBay. If somebody gets an item and there's a problem with it, there's a system. They return it to get there. They have to open a return. You can choose to refund them without them returning it, but there is a system that eBay has constructed where they will have to say, this is the problem, I need to get it sorted out. And you will say, okay, return the item. And if they return it and it's not in the condition that it was sent, or there's an issue with how they've returned it, then eBay can step in and moderate that. Or if you're a top-rated seller, you can just give them half of their money back. It's never going to be perfect, but I wouldn't let that fear stop you from selling on eBay.
Yeah. And here's another comment about the fees. That there are too many fees, they go up every year and they eat into your profits. Yes, there are fees, but also they're a business and they need to make money to survive. But if you sell in a high street shop, then you have to think about all the fees that go with that, all of your utilities, your rates, your rent, and that it's extortionate. You know, the second shop that we had after replay, we were paying more rates than we were rent. It was just ridiculous. And
the argument about that eBay is too expensive is never going away. And if you're not seeing the amount of sales from eBay to where the costs incurred make it not worthwhile, then clearly it's not the platform for you. We still sell on eBay because we get the volume of sales out of eBay that we need, and it makes sense. And I don't begrudge them their 15%, if you want to round it to a round figure, that they take. I don't begrudge that, because where else am I going to get those sales? Are you going to go to a car boot sale and get the same level of sales and return for your stuff? You're not. And you still have to pay £10 to be there.
Well, when you look at other platforms and you see they're taking 20%, it's...
Blimey, who's taking 20%?
I think Poshmark were taking 20%.
Really?
And I think
wow,
potentially Etsy take 20%. Not sure.
We should know that. We're selling there.
No, maybe they don't. Maybe I'm thinking of the initial listing fee. I'm not sure. I might be wrong there.
Well, it can't be 20% listing fee.
Probably not. No, not that. I'm probably, because I get mixed up with numbers in my head, and I'm probably thinking about the listing fee. Anyway.
Lainey said it's great to be back. Good. I need to watch that video.
Yeah, there were a couple of other comments up here that we skipped past.
Well, Cheryl was saying a similar thing there. I always say this, eBay gets some stick, but nobody will beat it, I don't think. Not for my category. I'm stuck in my ways, though. Yeah. Well, as I said before, never say never. Nothing lasts forever. But in the current climate, I can't see anything that comes close. Amazon took a big slice out of eBay.
Yeah.
You know, but they're very different markets.
They are now really, they're not keen on just individual marketplace sellers on the Amazon, are they?
No, they couldn't care less.
No.
Some people say that about eBay, though. Some people say that eBay's starting to forget the little people. But I don't know that they are, because they're now marketing directly to casual sellers having a clear out again.
Yeah. What's Our Treasure says, the problem with apps like Poshmark and whatnot is you really need a social media following to get noticed. Not everyone can do that or is confident in front of a camera. That is true.
That is a big part of it. Not everybody can sit here or wants to sit here and have their face on screen.
Yeah.
So it does instantly rule out a lot of people feeling comfortable to even do it. Yeah. It's an interesting one.
Scooching down. As a buyer, Fluffy Muffin says, I trust eBay. If there is a problem, I trust that eBay will mediate. And if I sell anything, I hope for the same. Never saw Posh Google when shopping on. Yeah, they never saw anything advertised from them at all. Yeah.
And that's what it comes to. The trust word there is so key, isn't it? And eBay, again, not everybody. There'll be people in this chat who will never sell on eBay because they don't have any trust. And we get a lot of comments like that. That's always going to be there. People have a bad experience and they won't touch something again. I do have a certain level of trust. I've had problems as a buyer even recently with eBay, and it's sorted out. And I don't think you can feel that level of trust with all of these platforms yet.
Sam is saying, is eBay worth the hassle if you're just starting out looking for advice?
Personally, yes. It depends what the hassle is you're describing. If the hassle is going through the motions of listing and packaging, then you can't really avoid that if you're going to do any distance selling. If the hassle is problems with buyers, you're going to get that wherever you sell anyway. So I think the hassle, maybe you're going to get wherever you choose to sell on the internet. I wouldn't say eBay is any more hassle than any other platform. In fact, in many ways, I think it's less.
Yeah, and as you're just saying, you're probably more protected selling on eBay.
Yeah. I would say, Sam, you need to jump in and have a go and find out exactly if it's for you or not. It's easy for me to say, as someone who's been on eBay for 20 odd years, that it's not much hassle. I'm used to it.
Yeah. So Cheryl says the trick with eBay is if you're a fair good seller, then generally you get treated like a fair good seller. Yeah, but they have this thing now where when they answer the phone to you, they say, hello, I see you've been on the platform for blah, 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 however many years.
They do.
Thank you for your business.
Oh, Mr. Hills, you've been with us 21 years. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Right. And also on Cheryl's comment there is always going to be the scam element. You can't avoid that. You can't avoid that just about anywhere. If you have a high street shop, you'll get stuff nicked from you. Oh, talk to us about that. Oh my goodness. If you go to the boot sale, you'll get people scamming you, as in stealing your stuff or whatever. There is, unfortunately, that human element everywhere you go. It's never going to disappear. There will be untrustworthy people trying to rip other people off everywhere. But it's still the tiniest percent. You know, I don't know, it's less than 1% of all transactions are problematic.
Yeah, exactly.
With us, anyway.
I know I've missed a few comments because I'm trying to get to the bottom of the chat, but Pete there says, every time I've had to ring eBay, it's always been excellent service, sorting things out every time. Yeah, that's generally our experience, to be honest with you. Apart from that time with the light.
Apart from that time, and there's always going to be exceptions. I'm not going to sit here and say eBay are perfect, or eBay will always have your back, or eBay will always sort something out. They won't. And every now and again, it won't go in your favor and it will wind you up. We've had those experiences. But overall, right, I still believe in eBay. And I'm not being paid to say this.
Amazon are completely cutthroat now. Yes, they are.
Yeah, whereas we don't touch Amazon with a barge pole as sellers anymore. We'd had enough of it. So there you go. But I know I have friends who love selling on Amazon and think it's amazing, right? Horses for courses.
So Porky is not on eBay anymore. A very long story, not ours to tell. But says, I can tell you it's a lot harder reselling without eBay, even though we all moan about it.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Do we know anybody who sells and doesn't sell on eBay?
Oh, this is interesting.
Does Stephen still sell on eBay or just Etsy?
Actually, no, he's primarily Etsy.
Yeah, friend of ours, you've probably seen him in the chat. Yeah, Stephen still
probably, but he just doesn't talk about it that much. But
sells mostly on Etsy, so that's interesting. I'm not sure if he does eBay.
Yeah, Michelle says you don't have to go on camera for whatnot. I did a few sales and never went on camera.
Well, that's interesting. Okay,
I didn't know that.
So, what you could just have your hands in shot, maybe have a top-down view. Interesting. I didn't know that. I still haven't even watched one of Chris's streams. I know he keeps doing them, but I've never been about when he's selling. I've not watched a live. Have you watched a whatnot thing?
No.
I watched the video. Mel went over to America. Mel, back from burnout, was with Chris, Daily Refinement, and they were filming a whatnot stream from behind the scenes. We watched that, didn't we? That's my only idea of how whatnot works.
Sorry, I'm still trying to scooch down to the bottom.
There's so much chat. Apologies if we've missed
Is Jeff
stuff.
asleep? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a super chat from the Scale Studio. Thank you. Monopoly boards are scammers, or a scammer's love. Do you want to tell people what you did today? Well, not today.
Oh, well,
what happened today?
I was going to make a separate. Oh no, I'll tease you with that. We had an incident, funnily enough, with a board game board. But I'm going to make a little short out of it, or maybe put it on TikTok or something, because it's hilarious. But yes, thank you for the super chat. That Monopoly story is going to be with me till the day I die, I think. So many people talk about it if they meet us or online. We get comments about it. It's hilarious. Yeah.
Dick Vintage are 90% Etsy. Cheryl thinks that Stephen does do eBay, but Etsy is his main account. Oh, I might have got to the end of the chat. Okay.
Yeah, Andy making the point there are people who make YouTube videos who don't show their face. Yeah, absolutely. And I can see how it would work. But like I say, the only time I've seen a Whatnot production, there was a couple of people taking turns, actually, weren't they? One would sell something and then go off and package it, whilst the other was selling the next one. It was a really clever operation. So
I know that you've started to touch on it, but I wanted to read out some of the comments there. You wanted to talk about what our plans are for what we want to promote with our thoughts with the app and everything.
Yeah, it's just person to person. Our take on it is the kind of ethos behind our app is to promote local person to person selling, face to face. So that's our take.
Well, for one, it's more sustainable than it is anything else. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. You had lots of thoughts on it, and I feel like you might have tried saying it, but I would kept interrupting.
No, I think I'd said most of what I was going to say. Right. For me, that's my favorite video of yours, Nick, the Monopoly board one. The funny thing about that video is I watched it back, I don't know, it must be a few months ago, and it's a terrible video, as in the production of it's hilarious, but at the core, it's got a good little story. Yeah.
Chris is asking, does the hair still resell? Yes, it does.
Does the hair still do reselling? Don't see much of his used to love yours and Z's tat chats. Yeah, he now has a high street store, and he's back doing eBay in quite a big way, sourcing secondhand stuff. And I believe he's now also advertising to buy stuff through the door. And I'm glad he's done that, because I think that'll be really fruitful. I think it's working, because that's how we used to source 90% of our stock when we had a high street outlet. We just advertised that we would buy your video games, CDs, DVDs, all of that, and we'd sit back and it would come flood in through the door every day.
We were never short of stock.
Yeah, and I miss that. I still miss that aspect. That aspect of never knowing what's coming through the door every day. It's great.
Kevin is asking, is the app going to cover all of the UK? Answer, yes.
Yep. Initially UK, that's going to be our kind of test bed. If it becomes a successful, viable thing, we will expand beyond. But that you're talking years down the line. We have to do this incrementally, step by step. A, because we have little to no budget, and it's going to have to grow with us. And B, because we just can't. This has taken a ridiculous amount of time as it is. Imagine if we were trying to launch on a wider scale. It's just too much. So yes, little by little, as Oasis once said. Oh, BCP has linked Zahir and Beck's channel.
Yeah.
I don't think they put as much content out as they used to, but they're still putting videos up.
Yeah, I see Zahir pop up every now and then in my subscriptions box. Yeah. Has anyone else noticed James is saying, has anyone else noticed the recommended promotion down?
Oh, down there. Sorry, let me highlight it.
The recommended promotion percentage on most things has been creeping up. I noticed it's up to about 12% on a lot of things right lately. Yes, I said exactly this to Nick the other day. I have stopped promoting. So anything that I'm listing now, I'm just not promoting.
I'm still doing like 2%
I just don't think that even if you put a small amount on it, it's going to make any difference. Because if they're telling you that in order to be seen, you've got to be paying them an extra 12% or so, then what's the point in 2%? It's like, it's nothing, is it? So
that's one of the things that does bug me about eBay. The kind of the sales taxes they keep adding, right?
Yeah.
Oh, do this, it will get you more sales. Will it? I think, Mr. eBay, that's just going to get you more revenue. That's all that's going to do. So there is that element of eBay that does bug me. The fact that they are obviously pandering to their corporate shareholders and they want more and more profit all the time. You can't deny that. I'm not going to sit here and deny that that goes on. And it is frustrating.
Yeah.
Because that, I think, is a very cynical cash cow for them.
Yeah. And I think that Cheryl said on Instagram several times that, when we sell kind of more interesting one-off things anyway, then there isn't such the need to promote.
No, there's no need. No.
So I don't know. I'm going to see how I go on with not promoting anything.
Well, we could try, both of us, switching it off on everything and see if...
I know, it's scary,
but
isn't it?
Our sales are very up and down with how much effort we put into our business. We're in a very good position that we can relax for a whole week and not really do much. So our sales do that.
Well, we've never really relaxed. We put our focus somewhere else. Been on the app or it's been on the house. And
but
yeah,
because our sales aren't consistent, we would find it hard to look at the graph and say, oh yeah, when we stop promoting, look,
we're not.
It's like that anyway.
Not consistent at all.
Yeah.
Some weeks we just barely list anything, and other weeks we're both at it constantly. If you know what I mean.
Oh look, Tina did her murder mystery event yesterday. Yeah, I'd love to know how that went. We friends of ours are organising one that we're going to go to. I don't know when that's going to be. And apparently, we are going to get our characters in advance, and we're going to have to dress up and stay in character for the whole evening. Which...
I'm not very good at acting. I'm dreading it.
Oh, there won't be much acting.
I'm very socially anxious and awkward anyway, and then having to
I can't wait.
Having to act something all night. I don't know. It fills me with absolute dread and fear.
Just
I think I might
let's
have to
say
drink a lot of wine.
You might be some posh lady of the manor or something. Just put on a posh voice. Oh, hello.
Bruni UK says, have you fully settled into your house now, or do you sometimes think about the old house?
I haven't thought about the old house for a long time.
No.
When we go back to visit family, I have a sister who still lives in Hitchin. My parents still live not far. When we go back that way, that's when it all floods back and you think about it. But we are totally settled here now. Yeah, very much so. We've got a good social group here. We're actually going, with a group of friends, we've got a games night at their house this coming up. That could be fun.
Weirdly though, it's with as I said, a couple of friends, but also the people we bought the house off.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting night.
Yeah, we've got to know the couple that sold us the house. But yeah, in answer to your question, yes, thank you. We are settled. Don't know what I was going to add to that.
I don't know. Chris G, changing the subject. Going back a number of weeks, remember the chat about the sticky stuff remover? Well, I had 2 child fireman's hats for 50p each, but one had remnants of a label. The sticky stuff remover took the shine off the plastic. Now I shared on Instagram, I saw it somewhere else, and a little bit of like cooking oil and some bicarb of soda, and if you put the oil on first on the sticky stuff and then rub in a bit of the bicarb, leave it for a few minutes, comes off like a dream. I tried it the other day.
That would be good.
Completely natural.
That's fine as long as it's not a porous subject, because the oil will just stay.
Yeah, that is true.
Anything with any sort of porosity at all. Yeah, and it's the same with those sort of sticky stuff removers. If that gets into like through a film on a book, it stains what's underneath. It draws it in.
Well, exactly. So if they both do it, then perhaps the the more natural solution is better.
Oh, Chris hasn't used Promoted at all.
And have you noticed any difference? That's what I want to know, because I said, I'm just not promoting at all now, but then I was like, I don't know whether, it gives you the fear, really, because they make you feel like you need to promote.
Yep.
In order to be seen. And then I think, oh my God, am I just being ridiculous? And
I think personally, when it comes to, we've cleared most of our new stock, those van loads of stock that we were buying back at the beginning of this year. We've cleared most of that, but I think that's when Promoted really worked for us, because we were selling exactly the same product as maybe 20 other sellers, and we wanted to kind of peak above them in the list, right? And we were doing that by trying to be competitive on price, but then the Promoted gave us that extra push to appear in different places on eBay. And when you've got a product that other people have and it's fairly common, I think that's when it comes into its own. For your stuff, I don't know how much it's going to help.
No. And Cheryl says, I do 2%, but I do it like I don't walk under a ladder. Superstitious nonsense. Yeah, well, that's what I was saying, that I'd had the fear of, but what if I, I'm making myself completely invisible by not promoting at all. James says, I was thinking of doing the minimum 2% to get the second visible.
So you'd be below someone else. Depends how many people are promoting.
When you think they already take an average of 15% without a promotion, plus the recommended 12%, we're at 27%. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12%
is a bit silly.
Is crazy. I did mess around with higher numbers when last time we were having a clear out of stock. I experimented with, instead of putting things on sale, instead of knocking 20% off in a sale, I would do 20% promoted, and some stuff disappeared just like that.
Yeah. I know.
So when you're at the point where I'm done with this item, I'm happy to knock 20% off it, I would use Promoted to get eBay to go, oh, look, we're going to get 20% out of this. Quick, put it everywhere. And it works on some stuff.
Some stuff.
Not all stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Harried Life Through a Lens says, we've never found that promoting has worked. Kath says, eBay do more upselling than EasyJet.
It's true. It's becoming like that, isn't it? Can you read out pennies?
I just listed all my John Lennon memorabilia. Imagine all the PayPal.
Imagine all the PayPal. I like that. Right. Can I get a drink while you read that? It's interesting.
So James says, I'm glad you guys have noticed it too. I had a negative feedback midweek, and since then my sales have dried up. This always seems to happen for 1 to 3 days after a negative. That's interesting. Yeah, some people say that they notice sales go down if they've got a couple of returns on the go, or that sort of thing going on.
I've got Imagine on my brain now.
Mr. Prime Channel thinks that PayPal and eBay's parting ways was a bad decision for eBay. Yeah, I don't know. I've got my own beef with PayPal.
Well, yeah.
Oh, don't get me started. Hallison Hound says the 2% promotion thing and the dreaded add item specifics tab, refusing to ever die like a zombie at the end of a bad horror movie. Well, yeah. I'm wondering whether they're upping their recommended promotion percentage, so many P's, so they're trying to encourage people to do the advanced. Like if they start to think, oh, this is more than it would be if I chose a certain amount to do for the advanced promotions. I'm wondering if they're trying to push people encourage them more to do the advanced.
The whole thing is just, it's like selling snake oil, isn't it? Because when you think about it, selling snake oil.
Snake oil?
Snake oil, it's a phrase.
I've never heard that.
Right, because when you think about what they're doing, like eBay always used to be, before this, we've all got our items up there, and if you type in a search, here they come, right? And you can filter that search in certain ways, and your stuff will be found, and it will sell on its merit, whether you're the cheapest or whether you've got the best offer or your feedback's good or whatever it is. And they've just added this magical thing into it. So now within their own platform, it's just so clever, but cynically clever, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we've just got to really concentrate on the listing itself and have the right keywords, and just really optimize the listings, and then
I find it's another reason, I think, that we're bundling, making a unique bundle out of stuff. Like when I was doing the toys recently, that stuff sold so quick because I'd like to think pricing it right, but also making a unique bundle. And you're not directly competing with anyone. And if you, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but it worked.
Roman says, I saw a YouTube video recently saying end listing and then sell similar doesn't work anymore on eBay. It seems fine to me. What do you think? We've always found it all right. Not noticed it not working. Don't know what anyone else thinks.
I don't systematically do that all the time, though.
No.
I probably should do.
Shark is asking how much is promoted listing. It depends on the category. It varies.
No, but you can choose. You can
choose. Yeah.
You can start from 2% because they upped it.
Yeah.
A minimum of 2%.
But their recommended varies on different items and categories. And,
but I've always ignored that recommended thing.
Jake says, I found a 1960s Batman comic. I picked it up, found it to be worth £15. That's brilliant.
Nice.
Cheryl thinks that markdown sales and coupons seem to work better than promotions.
Oh, interesting. I was saying exactly the opposite.
Yeah, I know. James says the item specifics, basically a drop-down menu of 20 specifics not related to the item. Yeah, so I mean, I think that the item specifics thing is good as long as it relates to what you're listing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, some of them are laughable.
Because it does help with the Google search, I think. But yeah, some of them I just totally miss them, and then they tell you that you haven't optimized your listing because you haven't used all the item specifics, and I think, well, then none of them are relevant.
I often wonder, somebody brand new coming to eBay would just be dumbfounded by how complicated they've made all of that, right? Remember when we started on it, it was literally a title box, a description box, price, go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now when you come to it, it's like, it would confuse the hell out of me if I was new to eBay now. And they've really overcomplicated it. Harwich life through the lens. Listing regularly is the best policy. eBay seems to work for us.
Yeah.
Nothing beats chucking loads of stuff on there regularly and often.
Like we say that, when we have weeks where both of us are listing at the same time and we're listing every day,
sales go through the roof.
Yeah, it's great.
It's about having items in demand, not being too greedy, and getting it listed.
Yes. And I do like offers as well. I like sending out offers to people and that sort of thing. And I like the fact people can offer us money, and sometimes it's laughable money, you know what I mean? And I like that. I like the fact that you can barter a bit.
Yeah.
I think that makes all the difference.
It's still the best addition eBay's added to their site.
Yeah, because
full stop.
Yeah, if you're wise in sort of savvy about it, then I always put it on for as high as I can, knowing that people are going to barter. It's that it's changed the culture, I suppose, a bit.
Apparently that was a very good posh lady voice I did.
Apparently so. Maybe, I can't remember when was it?
Should I ask Ron to give me a female character?
Richard has said, I've not promoted since April this year. Sales are just as good. There you are.
Well, there you go.
It was Nick in the study with the 4 candle.
4 candles? What was Neil saying above? I was trying to read
sorry,
Neil's.
Just saw that.
Just quickly scroll back. Hi Neil. Just finished helping my 8-year-old with her homework and I feel much dumber.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Hello, Simon and Faye. Said, we're in Hitchin today. They've done up Starbucks. The door still squeaks though.
Have they? Oh.
I wonder what they're going to do with Wilco's, because that's a massive building. I just don't know what they can do with
I'm not sure what firm there is that could take that on now.
No, the only thing I could think of is if like B&M moved in there, moved around the corner.
It could be one of those,
yeah. Could do that.
Yeah, but they're already in town now.
Yeah, they are, but they might move. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is local history man still about? Have you found out if he is the local witchfinder general yet? You haven't seen Tony at all.
I saw him for the first time in months, and he was just going off. I think he was getting in his car. So no, I haven't had a chat with local historian guy, but I need to. Right, let's scroll. This one, you want to read that?
Ian says, if you've got monocultural listings, I'm guessing, or this is a completely different channel.
Monocultural listings, you say?
Like maybe trainers, perhaps a big promo percentage rate pays dividends by association if applied to just 1 or 2 items.
There's a lot of long words in there.
A lot of long words about listings.
A games night with friends, Monopoly by any chance? I don't know that Monopoly was on the. Oh no, well, Lawrence did say he had some weird Monopoly. What Metallica Monopoly?
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're going to play Monopoly. We're going to take a couple of games, and they've got a version of Triv that they think we'd like. Trivial Pursuit. Yeah. I'm going to take Absolute Balderdash and Quirkle. Okay. And maybe something else.
A couple of people have said about WD-40 being a good glue remover. C. Blaine is saying you can ask them about the ghosts in your house. I did already, actually, and they weren't aware of anything.
WD-40 again, that will stain. Anything with even slightly porous, it will stain. So just be careful using
mayonnaise is a good remover from plastics. Hairspray, yeah, I've done that a few times.
John is right about GSP is a huge plus of selling on eBay. It opens up the whole world to you. However, it should be clearer to customers that eBay sets the rates. Yes, we still get questions. How much is postage? I don't know. I don't set it. So yeah, it's not made clear. The wording should be clearer. Number of times I've been told the shipping I charge is daylight robbery. Yeah, exactly. And you have to message and say, "Oh, it's nothing to do with me." And then the customer's like, "I don't understand."
Yeah, I know. Rubbing alcohol is apparently good for removing sticky stuff. James says lighter fluid.
We're way behind in the chat then, aren't we? All right, let's try and get to the end because it's 5 to 9 already.
Already? That's gone quick, isn't it? See, when we have a topic, it just whizzes.
What's that about Neil Diamond? I bought a Volvo that used to belong to Neil Diamond from eBay. Sweet car online.
Penny's in with all the jokes tonight.
Sweet car online. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Sandra doesn't promote many things.
Is that on eBay or just in life? I don't like anything, me. I wouldn't recommend anything. We know what you mean, Sandra. Sorry.
Oh dear. Yeah, sorry. Trying to zoom down.
What's this about earmuffs? Is this a joke? Is this an incoming joke? I've bought hundreds of earmuffs at super good price. And to get them appearing high up in the... Oh, it's not a joke.
No.
To get them appearing high up in the listings, you have to go with promoted listings. There's so much competition from China. Yeah, pretty much what I was saying about our van load of new stock.
I love this name, Wurzel Rummage. That's brilliant.
Nice.
Have you tried eBit?
No.
eBit? No, we haven't.
In a word, no.
It's different to eBay Gum, though, isn't it?
I believe so. Has anyone heard much from eBay Gum recently? I think you looked the other week and they were still going.
Yeah, I did. Actually. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Jonathan, question. I look on charity shop eBay stores a lot and find they always do auctions on all products. I find I get things really cheap. Have you ever tried sourcing stock this way?
Yes, we used to buy job lots from a local charity who sold on eBay back when we were in Hitchin. There was a charity based out of Welwyn Garden City, and I've noticed that when you look on the big chains that have shops on eBay, they tend to be auction. I think that's so they get the turnover. They tend to be. There's a couple that I follow that everything tends to be either a £5 or £10 start, and they do them. I guess it's so they don't get backed up. And like you say, they're getting the stock for free anyway. So as long as they're getting something for it, they're happy. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Marcus has sold his TomTom.
Excellent. Yes. I sold my TomTom eBay quick sale. Got 150. Wow, nice. eBay took nearly £20 in fees. Then said, I now have to wait for my money until it's been delivered.
Sorry. Sam says, I
can't read the rest of it.
Oh, I thought you had finished. I thought you'd finished. I'm sorry.
It didn't show it all on here.
I thought you'd finished.
Sorry, Karen.
Sam says, I take it you have to declare takings to HMRC if you're starting making a substantial amount. Yes. Do they contact eBay sellers at all? I think that eBay do keep an eye on things, and there's a law coming through, isn't there, starting in January?
I'm sure quite a few years back eBay shared that they share information with HMRC, and yes, if you are making money you need to declare it.
I'm sure I've seen that HMRC are now working with other companies and asking them to tell them how much people are making on their platforms, and they're trying to marry it up, so you can't lie to HMRC because they will say this is how much. If they look into it and they say you say this is how much I made, and then they go to eBay and find out you made a substantial amount more, then you will be in serious trouble. Yeah. And they're doing that with other companies now as well, so you have to be really careful with that.
100%. Well, anything that you're doing online is going to be recorded somewhere, and it's not worth cutting corners with declaring stuff, people. There you go. See, snake oil salesman equals con artist.
Right, never heard of it. Yeah. Lots of talk about snake oil now because we're that behind.
What was that about? Sorry, we're trying to get to the end of the chat. We're not doing a good job. Did we used to have eBay stores in the UK? I vaguely remember people took their items to be sold for them. There used to be people that did set up consignment stores where you'd take your whatever and they'd sell it for you and take a percentage. Those used to be not run by eBay, run by anybody who would.
I think eBay did a few pop-up stores.
Oh, was there actually owned by eBay?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was more of a promotional thing than anything else.
I'm talking about selling stuff on consignment. Yeah.
And he's never used promotions on listings. I have faith in good quality stock at the right price with good feedback on my account to get sales. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll have to see what happens with my not promoting anymore.
Pizza Ray.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just going to read that. Tried a few coupons in the past, but they seem stale and pointless. I'd rather do an order discount or sale event if needed. We didn't really try coupons, did we?
No, we never really have. I've done it on Etsy, and that's worked a few times. Mike's Farming says, did the EastEnders teapot go? Sadly, yours was not. Annie's. Sorry?
Annie is the artist.
Oh, no.
Yeah, ours didn't have a sign.
No, it hasn't gone yet. I haven't listed it yet.
Well, that's why. That's one good reason. Right, let's try and...
What's Cheryl saying? You're making it sound fast when we started, Nick. You're forgetting we had time up. We did. Yeah, when I first started, I've told this before, so if you've heard it before, I'm sorry if I'm boring you, but when I first started selling on eBay, I was pregnant with Ellen, and Nick was at police training, and I was living with my nan, and because it was on dial-up. My nan would let me use the phone line until she went to bed. So I used to start listing at like 10 or 11 at night and carry on until about 3 in the morning when I was pregnant with Ellen, which is probably why she's such a night owl now.
And then soon after, when we both quit our jobs and went full-time, we then used Turbo Lister, and we'd write all of our listings throughout the day and then kick it all off when we went to bed, come down in the morning, and it had been uploading it all night long.
Yeah.
Because it was that slow.
Wow, those are the days. And checks, yes. The amount of checks that came in the post, and you'd have to wait until they cleared before you can actually post the item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, there's so much good chat. Sorry, we're going to have to whiz to the end. We can't. Nick the bearded lady.
Iceland has gone in hitching as well. Blimey.
Has it? Oh no, it's not a big hole.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. Someone says that B&M and Poundland are taking some of the Wilko shops, but Poundland have been struggling as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, Poundland is shut in Hitchin anyway, so I doubt they'll be taking it on. But it is a massive store. It used to be Safeways.
When are you doing the games thing? Saturday?
Yes.
If you're talking about when we're doing it with our friends, yes. Wow, there's so much chat. I'm trying to get to the end before we do words of wisdom. Sorry if I've missed questions and stuff. We're not going to get time to go through all of this. There's chat about.
Somebody asks. Bruni asks, do you sell personal items on eBay? Items that you don't record? Well, I've got a personal account, so if we've got anything personal, we don't tend to though. That actually, no.
I tend to just plow it through the business, and if we have to pay tax on it, so be it. It's not a biggie.
Yeah, but I mean, if we do, like, if it's clothing, I tend to put it on Vinted. Or we just take stuff to the car boot.
Yeah.
So
going back to that original question, if you're selling personal items, you are free to do that. It's when you are engaging in a business activity, buying to resell.
Yeah.
You need to look into declaring it. Yeah. I'm not going to advise on the numbers involved with all of that. When you should, when you shouldn't. You need to seek advice, not from me.
Yeah, we're not qualified.
Right, shall we do words of wisdom? If you're new to this,
I think we're at the end of the chat, even though I'm sorry that we have missed out. Lots of good chat.
We try to end on a positive note. So if you have any words of wisdom that we could share with the group, do that. And then we will pick one. I think it's my turn to pick one this week, isn't it?
Yeah, people are saying about how much you have to earn. It's over 1K.
There you go. But yes, always do your own research when it comes to things like tax, etc. Please. Right, off you go. Do you want to read that?
So Darren is kicking it off with, don't do a fashion show with 8 deck chairs on your head and almost smash your £80 pumpkin pot that you just sold.
What's been going on?
Sounds like a fun night.
Don't do a fashion show with 8 deck chairs on your head.
8 deck chairs.
What were you thinking?
How much had you had to drink?
You can't argue that's wise words, though. I'm not sure the original, what you were doing was wise. Ah, dear. Peter, life is a job lot of ups and downs, ranging from excellent to acceptable condition, but all experiences prove useful in the end. That's brilliant.
That's very good.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like this as well.
Oh, so Lainey says,
hang on, wherever you go, there you are.
No, very true. Lainey says, right, well, can I borrow you both Friday or Sunday? Sunday it would have to be, because no, I don't know, we're home Friday night, aren't we? We're in Brighton on Friday, so I'm not sure what time we'll get home.
Yeah.
But not majorly late, because it's Ellen's birthday on Friday, for reference. And she's going out with her friends in the evening. Well, so we'll be leaving in the afternoon at some point anyway. So I would think we'll be home by evening.
Message, yes,
we might be knackered, but apart from that.
Music quiz, though, will be there.
I know, yeah, definitely.
Hi, Elaine. Do not put out your fire just because someone doesn't understand your flame.
Oh, I like that.
How have I not heard that before?
I like that a lot. That's
That's a front runner for tonight, I think.
Yeah. Well, don't do it now.
On topic.
That's a bit late.
Words of wisdom. Don't list on in brackets if you're in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pete's in with one. We are not what we know, but what we are willing to learn. Oh, that's deep.
Good tonight.
Deep.
Very good.
Where'd you get that one from, Pete? If struggling in Monopoly, either cheat or rob the bank.
I think it might be noticed somehow. Oh dear.
Excellent. Hi, Ali. Would you like to read Ali's out?
Set a goal so big that you can't achieve it until you grow into the kind of person that you can, the kind of person who can.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, like that.
It sounds like me in the app. Start a project, you have no idea how big it is, and then keep going until you get there.
Belinda says, it's not what you sell, but the way that you sell it. And that's what gets results.
It's not what you sell. Who was that?
It's the way that you sell it. It was a
Bananarama
and
the Specials?
Not the Specials, but his other band.
Funboy 3.
Yes.
Oh, I want to listen to that now. I like that a lot.
Those are not actually the words, though.
Thanks, Belinda. No, they're not. Do you think? Will, my son's 4th birthday was today, but when he came to see me, I didn't recognize him at first. I'd never seen him before. Oh my! I walked into that one.
Oh dear. Tina says, music is at the heart of everything, and that's why it has a beat.
That's why it has beats.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. I like it.
Like that. Sorry,
I like it.
I don't know if it is actually. It's Chucky Wocky Doodah still in Brighton. I have a feeling that it might have closed, but I don't quote me on that.
Was that the shop in the lanes?
Yeah. Porky says, never look down on anybody unless you're helping them up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right, let's see what else we've got before we pick one. You don't have to pay others to be the best you can be. Wow. That's a head scratcher, but I like it.
Kind of fits in with the whole paying for promotions.
Well, right. Thanks, Lainey. Yeah, we'll have a chat. We'll work it out. Broad beans are the future. So are pens on calendars.
No, they're
not. Mike's Farming, my 50 cents. Enjoy selling, be real and genuine, and don't count on being a millionaire. That's a bonus. Excellent.
Yeah, well, that's how we've run our business, I suppose.
I like, learn to let go of the things you can't control. Oh, that's a lifelong thing, getting to grips with that, though. Yeah. If only we could all go, oh, and I won't worry about things I can't control anymore. It's not that easy.
It isn't, no.
No, we all wrestle with it.
I was saying that the other day when I was getting anxious about something, and then you were trying to say, but this doesn't exist or whatever. And I said, but you can't just say, you can't just tell somebody if they're worrying about something, or stop worrying about it, because that doesn't make it go away.
I know.
You can't just say, stop being anxious. It won't happen.
Everything is easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
Before dilapidation, make sure you're not supposed to look like a monkey. What am I missing here?
Okay. Right.
Am I reading that right, Ian? I'm just not clever enough to work it out. Okay, I'm going to scroll back to, hang on, Janet's got a couple more quickly. Kindness doesn't cost a thing, yet it's the richest gift you can give. That's good. That is nice. Toodle pip, Chris. Sharon's with us. Hi, Sharon. The world suffers a lot, not because of the violence of bad people, but because of all the silence of good people. That's good. That is good.
Pens are friends.
I'm still learning.
Pens are friends.
Hey, Pete. Good to see you. Oh, there's so many coming in. We're not all in the same boat. We are in the same storm, but some on a super yacht while some have just an oar.
Very true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fastest way to being a million. Find a quick way to make £1, then do it 1,000,000 times. On that note, does anyone want some earmuffs? You haven't got 1,000,000, have you? Right. I'm sorry if there's any more beyond that, but we'll be here all night. I'm going to stroll. As usual, I can't remember which one it was, but there was one that really struck a chord. Do you remember what it was?
I don't know. A couple did tonight.
Bear with. I did like Belinda's.
Yeah.
But there was one before that. Where are we? Hold on a minute. Oh, it was that one.
Oh, yeah.
I like that a lot. I like the sentiment of that.
Yeah.
Do not put out your fire just because someone doesn't understand your flame. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We all have passions. We all have things that we want to achieve in life. Just because people doesn't understand it, maybe they don't understand your motivation or your reasons, doesn't mean you should give up. Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Pens are friends. Sorry, I'll just get to the bottom. Get a pink pen. Yeah, but then when there's another picture here that I like, it probably won't go with it. I might have like a blue picture.
Well, look, maybe we'll compromise. I'll get another bit of string for the pen so the pen can hang behind, I mean.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Then I've got a handy pen, so I don't have to go rummaging around in the cupboards.
It really isn't very far away, though.
I'm clearly not going to get the last word in, so we'll leave you there. We'll see you next week. Actually, Sunday. Yeah, we are here Sunday. Yeah, we're out Saturday. We're out Thursday. We're out Friday, but we'll be back at some point.
Yeah. It's a complicated week.
Thank you so much for joining us. There really is no point without you lot. So give yourselves a pat on the back like that. Thank you very much. And stroke the like button on the way out. Ta-ra!
Bye.